Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for your biweekly and our biweekly AMA. My name is Gary Bard. I'm CEO of Steam Exchange. Today, we have our whole team here with us again. We have Neville Divecha, we have Chris Beckford, and we have our we have our head of PR marketing, Viraf. We're going to start by talking to you guys about something very exciting today. Why don't we go ahead and to Chris. Chris, what's exciting today?
there's definitely a lot that's exciting today. But let me start by saying good day, Steam team. As always, we hope you guys are all well, and thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. Our first session here on a Thursday, so we'll see how this one goes, and for the future, we'll keep these in place or need to move accordingly. So as always, for those who don't know me, my name is Chris Beckford. I am the acting vice president and head of infrastructure here at Steam Exchange. And as already previously mentioned by Enki and Gary as well, and you guys would have saw in the community, our FIFA president and head of operations, Neville, he'll be representing Steam Exchange today on New York 77 WABC's Primetime Rush Hour Radio, which is hosted none other than Mr. James Golden, and for those who don't know, he also goes by AKA Bo Snerdley. Now, if any of you guys are familiar with some of the big and radio talk shows down in the States, Bo was actually a huge part of Rush Limbaugh's the Rush Limbaugh show in the early '90s, part of his production team, as well as some other big engagements. So we're definitely strapped and ready for this discussion with Bo, and we're looking forward to it. So here within a couple of minutes, we will be starting the stream. Gary will be streaming that radio segment here for us, which we all get to sit down and partake in this together. So we're definitely looking forward to it. After that, once Neville hops back on, then we have some additional updates downstream. So please do stick around, and hope you guys enjoy the show. Cheers.
Once again, I hope you guys are as excited as we are. This is something of a larger crowd than normal, and it's a new opportunity to speak about Steam Exchange to other people. And as you know, it takes quite a bit to go out there and be on the radio, right? So Neville, we're actually very proud of you for doing that. We're rooting for you, and good luck there.
Thank you, guys. With that, I'm going to drop and get ready to join the stream. See you guys in a bit.
Want to know?
It's the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now here's Bo Snerdley.
WABC Talk Radio 77. Today is a day unlike most if you are invested in cryptocurrency. At an earlier point in the day, over $200 billion had been wiped off the cryptocurrency market. And that's just today. The second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, plummeted in value by over 20%. That's just in the last 24 hours. So what a day to have Neville Divecha with us. He is, according to the bio that I was provided, an amazing background in IT, infrastructure and service. He's worked for some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies. You know the names like IBM, DHL. He codes. He's well-versed in multiple computing languages. He started in crypto back in 2013. Understands and has been a proponent of blockchain technology. Now, again, on our podcast, Back the Future Is Now, we talk about these things, but a lot of people have questions on them. And so what a day to have you with us, Neville. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Are you panicked? Today, the cryptocurrency markets are plunging. does this panic you? You've been in this since 2013.
Well, honestly, I think it's important to take a step back and look at the macro level of things, around us. We continue to have instability in parts of the world, inflation at one of the highest levels in years, stock market volatility, treasuries across the world continue to print money at a unprecedented rate. These are all factors that have an impact on the global economy. Myself, I'm kind of like a glass half full kind of guy. I have this opportunity, for those that can see through the noise. It's no hidden secret, that there's a huge mind-blocking element to investing and doing so successfully. When things are in the green, I can recall countless conversations with my buddies stating how, we should have purchased more of X, Y, and Z at an earlier stage. Well, one way to look at it is, here's your opportunity. There are ebbs and flows in everything, patterns to all financial cycles. My take on it is that, blockchain technology is here to stay and aspects of decentralization are here to stay.
Now, good. I'm glad you said that, because it gives us a chance to ask you. Now, folks, if you don't know what blockchain technology is, these are terms that you are going to be hearing, and one day in the future, it will be just as common as saying, what's your browser? There was a time when if you said someone, what's your browser, they had no idea what you were talking about. Today, everybody knows what a browser is, almost. Okay? The same thing with blockchain technology. You hear these terms. Can you explain to us what blockchain technology is? Because that is the basis of cryptocurrency.
For sure. So blockchain technology, there's a bunch of fundamentals that go with it. Essentially, a blockchain is the ledger that processes all the smart contract, functions and features. But just to bring it down to a level, there's three fundamentals in my mind. There's a trust aspect, which is the enablement of trust in the blockchains, one of the most cited benefits. Think of it as providing a trusted mechanism to facilitate transactions among entities that didn't have relationships, yet still had to share data or payments. Then there's a security aspect. So blockchain technology allows for an unalterable record of transactions with end-to-end encryption, which shuts out fraud and unauthorized activity. Additionally, on the blockchain is stored across a network of computers, making it nearly impossible to hack or act with malicious intent. That one is kind of a gray area with what's been happening in the market, but it's still one of the three fundamentals. And the last one is decentralization. Trust in institutions is near historic lows. It's not a surprise that consumers, including millennials, Gen Z, are uncomfortable putting sensitive data, money, and personal property under the control of centralized authority. Decentralization solves this by empowering multiple participants to manage a network. Users don't have to trust one specific authority, and the protocol is designed to prevent malicious activity.
So let me try to refine that definition. I understood it, finally. It took me a while to get this. Folks, there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of computers around the world that are now linked in what is called a peer-to-peer way. They're linked. And so your transaction appears, or your assets, if they're cryptocurrency, there's a ledger, one ledger that's across all of these multiple thousands and thousands of computers. You can't go in and hack them all. This is making life safer. It's a currency that is designed on trust. But that trust comes from having the information of your particular currency, if you will, spread across all of these computers. But it's more than cryptocurrency. There are so many aspects to this new blockchain technology. It would take hours to go through them. Did I get that sort of right?
Absolutely right. And, there's other aspects like visibility, traceability, cost efficiency, speed, right? There's so many different benefits to blockchain technology, and, we can go on all day about it, but no, we definitely don't have the time for that.
Okay, so now let's talk about cryptocurrency. I'm a beginner. I'm a novice. I don't know what this stuff is. People keep telling me about this Bitcoin, this Ethereum, and then they mention these Doge coins and everything. What is this crap? That's what people want to know. What is it? What is crypto? What is a Bitcoin? What's all that stuff?
Wow, that's a big throwback. So Bitcoin, let's just pick that one out of the bunch. That's a throwback to 2009. So Bitcoin's a digital currency. It operates, free of any central control. There's no oversight of any banks or governments. It relies on peer-to-peer software and cryptography. It's built off a public ledger and records all Bitcoin transactions, and copies are held on servers around the world. Bitcoin is open source, just like every other cryptocurrency. Its design it's public. Nobody owns Bitcoin and nobody controls Bitcoin, but everyone can take part.
Right, which makes it safe. Because in a way, now we have heard about some of the frauds that have taken place in crypto, the early frauds, and those, they require an explanation that we don't have time to do today. But I would just say this, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. Many of the companies in the banking industry that were poo-pooing this whole idea of cryptocurrency are now full force getting in it. They see that this is the future. Would that be a correct assessment?
For sure, right? And those same people, that's just called banking system. The banking system, they approve transactions versus in the crypto ecosphere, the system confirms transactions. So there's no approval element involved in it. It's all decentralized. There's no risk factor involved.
Okay, we're going to have you back, but today, on this day when everything seems to be the sky is falling, you said you're a glass half empty guy. If you see opportunity, today could be your day to take advantage of opportunity, correct?
Absolutely, Bo. Glass half full, not empty, buddy.
Thank you so much. We're going to have you back again. And folks, thank you so much. And we will have you back again. Folks, this is so important. The world as you know it is changing rapidly. It is changing beneath us, just like when the internet came in. Pre-internet, after internet. Except this has the potential to be much bigger because it affects the entire economies of the world and your personal economy. This thing that you're hearing about, crypto, all this stuff about these other currencies, this is not going away. This is real, and it's real to stay. So we're going to be talking about this in the days to come. I want to squeeze one or two more calls in. We have a lot of people that want to talk about the WHO vote today. Let's go to Susan in Brooklyn.
All right, guys. So as you heard it, that was our one and only Neville. Neville, we'll wait for you to get back. I want to hear what you feel. How you feel about this? How do you think it went? I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are. I'm honestly very happy that you let the world know what the difference is between banking system and the crypto system. How we call it here at Steam Exchange. The power is in your hands. Banking system approves, while crypto system confirms. It's essentially the same thing, but with two way different ends of the spectrum on the meaning.
That was definitely refreshing to hear. I'm not gonna lie, and like we always say, right? Because it's natural. We always fear what we don't understand. So the way Neville was able to break it down, somebody that's coming in for the first time, hopefully they now have a better understanding of what is crypto and how it operates, right? So it's all about education and building that trust factor and tearing down those barriers. Definitely refreshing to hear.
Very happy he got.
It was quite
bigger crowd of people, and crypto adaptation is about making it more mainstream and getting the information out there.
For sure. And
I really want. I see Neville's back, and can we just get some feelers right off fresh Neville? How do you feel? How do you think?
For sure, I think the questions he asked were really good. I like that he opened with obviously the market conditions. Because of course, that is where the fear and uncertainty comes from, right? For new investors entering the crypto ecosphere. And it's always important to note, and if you've been a part of this world for long enough, you've seen enough rides and enough cycles to know that this is just another one, right? What happened was, we're not going to get into all the details we've been talking about in the chat, but it was unfortunate. It did amplify the effect of the current bearish market, so to speak, that we were going through. But this is opportunity. And those who can recognize it as opportunity are the ones that are successful. And I just kind of wanted to make sure I got that point in there, for those new listeners or those new investors, so to speak, or quote unquote potential investors, because that's important. But it was good. I think that
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I know
for
there's
sure. I think
something you really wanted to itch on, something you wanted to mention about the size of our team.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know what? Who better than Viraf to talk about that one?
Sarah Viraf.
Thanks, Nev. I just wanted to say that was crazy as well. The amount of info you were able to condense in that small slot, get that information out. That was really commendable. So props there. But yes, guys, in other exciting news, it has been something we've been mentioning for a while. But I do have the pleasure of introducing our newest team member to the marketing team. His name is Jamal. From my interactions with Jamal, he is a savvy marketer. I do believe he is going to bring in some renewed energy, some new ideas, and definitely help support the team in the long run. So for now, I'm just going to bounce it across to Jamal to just say a quick few words and say hi to the community.
Just make sure he's not muted.
That is a good point. So there we go. He's raising his hands. Our apologies, sir. Allowed to speak. You should be all good now, Jamal. Hey, Jamal, are you there? Just trying to make sure you're not muted. Allowed to speak. You should be good now. Can you try?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. There we go. Are you all set?
Perfect. Yeah, sorry, I was muted. I don't know why. Thank you for the intro, Viraf, and Neville, really proud of you, dude. That was actually amazing. Loved listening to all that. A lot of good points there. So for everyone else here, I am actually based in Australia. I'm going to be focusing mainly on, Asia Pacific, countries, but in the UK and some in the States as well. I like to focus my marketing towards, influencer marketing, brand awareness, and just sort of getting it out there, bringing new investors in. I've already started doing some vlogging and general exposure here, bringing out some merch, just doing some real world events, networking, meeting with a couple of big companies. Already spoken to the guys, from the marketing team. Yeah, me and Viraf just go through everything every day, and we've got some big ideas just on the horizon at the moment, and we're hoping just to expand and just make it a household name for the time being. Just like how everyone knows Binance, we want to become just the new thing. Everyone mentions Steam Exchange; they know what it is already. Things get bigger, as we release. Everyone already knows what it is, so all the hype and everything is just built with that sort of marketing that I like to for community marketing. Engagement, just getting people involved with vlogs and just doing some real world interactions as well. And yeah, actually, honestly, really excited to be here. Love the opportunity and very, very excited to work. I think it's a really good time to just, go ahead and push now. Market's at a good time for new investors and new people to come in. So I think biggest focus right now is just to grab those new investors, people that want to get in that didn't get the chance to last year, and teach them how to do it safely and join us on our journey.
Absolutely spot on. Opportunity lies for those who can see through it. So thanks, Jamal, for giving us that brief introduction. We definitely look forward to working with you closely and getting those new ideas in. But for now, I think I'm going to bounce it across to Neville for a fun little segment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamal. And thank you, Enki. Jamal, welcome to the team, buddy. Definitely happy to have you on board. So last AMA, we mentioned that we've solidified our agreement with Sheridan College, and we brought on board one of their students so far. So we did want to showcase a little bit of what that student's put together. So Gary, I am going to take over your screen share.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I'm going to put it down.
Perfect.
And I'll pop back up after you're done. Just let me know when you're done.
Awesome.
There we go, sir. It's all yours.
All right. So I'm going to load it up. So this is the mock-up that our student put together. So we gave him a kind of a base requirement and kind of how we want the game to function and look and feel, but we're going to continue working on the look and feel as we go. So what you're looking at right now is what we call our hub level. So in the hub level, your character gets to walk around, and you get to see these little blocks at the moment. Eventually this will change, but I'll explain that in a second. So your character gets to walk around. I'm going to just, have some fun a little bit here. You get to meet characters, other NPCs in the game, and he can interact with them in the hub. So within the hub, you're taught more about the game mechanics, how to run, how to walk, how to jump, how to interact. There's a couple of little, things like you can't fall off the map. Fun fact, you were once able to fall off the map and it was not fun. You'd basically have to reload the game. So these little blocks that you see, just to explain what they are, as this is access to the different levels. So right now they're all blocked off, and because the game is not live, none of the other levels are ready to go. But essentially, let's say this is level 1. When you go into this portal, which is what it's going to be, it's not going to be this giant block. You will enter level 1, which is Introduction to Digital Assets. So this game is going to be hub-centric in the sense that all the elements are accessed through the hub, the hub level rather, and you can access the different levels from here. If this is level 2, for example, and you haven't completed level 1, it would not let you through. It will let you know that, hey, you know what, you haven't completed level 1, go visit a trainer and get some more information on how to proceed. Eventually, once we solidify one of the other partnerships that we're working on and get the ball rolling on that, it's going to be an AI element. And that AI element is going to drive the learning. So I mentioned in the past, and we've always mentioned in the past, that this is not going to be a cookie cutter learning experience, so to speak, where everyone's learning curve will be the same. I may learn at a different pace than someone else, and my learning and the lessons that I learn within the game will cater to that. So my questions that are being asked will be based on the knowledge that I've demonstrated, based on the answers that I've provided, and my progression will be graded as such. The goal for everyone that plays the game is that they get branded, so to speak, as a qualified or an accredited investor based on their score. One of the things that are on the flow chart of things that we're working on is coming back. So say you've completed level 1, you've moved on to level 2, completed level 2, so on and so forth, but your score wasn't enough to get you that top tier status. You can actually come back to level 1, and the AI will recognize your progress, and they'll start teaching you specifically on the elements that you didn't quite get right. There's no winning or losing, so to speak. There's only progression. So you come back to the levels and you continue to progress. You continue to learn. And we anticipate that this game will be pretty fun, right? In the sense that, everything else that we're doing is, it's fun for us. We always say, development is always fun for the developers, not so much fun for the community. But the game itself is something that's definitely going to be fun for everybody. So we're going to go ahead and continue polishing this, fixing all the little bugs that we have currently running or happening. And once that's polished off and we have level 1 accessible and we have at least a little bit of the AI element built in, we will open up or release a beta version for you to play. So you can actually download this app and you can actually run it and play level 1 and hub level and learn at least the minimum about the mechanics. Just to talk about the little avatars. So this is the uniform or the skin that we selected for now. You can see he's a little trainee, full steam ahead. But one thing that we're looking at implementing is being able to connect a Web3 wallet. So a wallet that holds NFTs and specifically our partnered NFT platforms or projects. We would like you to be able to import your skin or your avatar. So you can actually walk around your game world in your avatar. So that's something to be excited about as well. It's going to be great synergy for us and other projects as well, and a great opportunity for you to showcase your NFTs. So that's kind of the game in a nutshell.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing. So there's two different. Just to clarify, there's two different AI engines, right? There's the you got the visual, right? The world itself. And then you have, pending completion of the affiliation with the other partnership, right? You got another artificial intelligence that runs the NPCs, right? Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yep. So so everything's run through scripts. The AI element is going to be basically a database of knowledge, I would say. So all the work we're doing with our partners on research It's all going to put into scripts into the database, and the AI will use that database to question you and teach you and help you along your way. So that's the AI script, and the NPC script is basically how the NPCs are engaged and how the AI around, who you engage, what kind of NPC they are. What you're seeing on the screen right now, we only have one skin, but the main character, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, but you saw that the guy that I was running around with and the guy that was standing there, they're two different entities, right? One is a player, which was me, and the other is the NPC. And the NPC, there's going to be different classes of NPCs. You're going to have your trainers. You're going to have, we call them player NPCs, which are just random people in the map guiding you to the trainers. And then we're going to have something called final bosses. So essentially, the trainers are going to teach you, but they're also going to quiz you. And once you reach a certain threshold of knowledge, they're going to ask you to challenge the boss within the level. You're going to go to that boss, and he's going to now quiz you on everything that the AI deems that you've learned, and then start putting in things that you have not fully satisfied as far as AI goes. And then the objective is to defeat the boss. If you defeat the boss, you go on to the next level. Then again, you can always come back to a previous level to up your score and have a better rating. But the goal is to complete the game and have at least the basic knowledge of digital assets.
Wow, that's truly an immersive experience, and I'm assuming you can increase the difficulty of it as you go. Perhaps there will be some rewards. So now you have quizzes, tests, rewards. You can import skins. You have system-guided artificial intelligence NPCs. You got players in the game. You have a truly, truly, truly big package in where you can immerse yourself and really, truly have fun while learning, right? That's what you guys are doing there. That's what you guys are building there. And again, this is with currently, this is what was achieved within a short window with a partnership with the Sheridan University, with an onboarded student from there. And you guys are almost done achieving the second partnership as well. Different collaboration within the same university that we've had before. Right, and that's wow, that's amazing. So unless there's something anybody else wants to add, I think it's time for us to jump into question period, guys.
Yeah, just before we do that, Gary, it's something you brought about briefly. And for those of you listening, Neville hinted at a few things. He hinted at partner skins, avatars, stuff like that. Let your mind explore. And Gary just touched upon another point as well. Guys, if you recall, we just announced this partnership with Sheridan College last week in the form of a press release. In the span of a week, we were able to turn around with their team and share this first preliminary level with you guys. So I just want to highlight, it's important to note that irrespective of the noise around us, we continue to remain focused on the deliverables ahead. I just wanted to add that in. But yeah, over to you, Gary, for a Q&A.
Thank you, Guruf. So guys, again, as always, if you'd like to raise your hand up, if you have a question, we welcome you to raise your hand up and ask away. At this time, I'm also gonna stop sharing my screen. Neville, when is this going live? I guess today, right? By the end of the day, scheduled.
Yep. That should be online tonight. So my plan is to release the YouTube link for the AMA recording, Veeroff's Medium article, and the website at the same time.
Right on, sir. Thank you so much.
Perfect. But yeah, guys, this is your opportunity to ask questions. We're here for y'all. Does anyone want to raise their hand and start?
It's okay. Let's give it a few more minutes. Maybe people are still taking it in.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't want to speak on the voice chat, feel free to type in your message on the main chat as well. We'd be happy to address it that way too. So, guys, we do have a question in the chat. This was just forwarded in by one of our teammates. The question goes like this: if we see the current situation on the market and if the exchange is ready to launch, would we consider waiting to launch for market conditions to better?
Well, that's a very good question. And again, I think it depends on many factors, not just that one. So we can't answer it based on solely one factor. I think it'd be unfair. There's obviously a multitude of factors to it that we have to take into account. It's just a very complex question, I'd say, because again, it's a very complex answer. I think we would have to evaluate it at the time of readiness and see, based on again a multitude of things that have to occur to line up before we hit that button that says launch. But that's a good question. Is there anything else in the chat there that you can see, or maybe somebody DM'd one of the admins that you guys can drop in the chat? And obviously, thank you to everyone that's supporting us in the chat. Thank you so much. We can see all your love and support.
Gary, I do see an interesting question in the chat. Max wants to know if we have a date for the beta release.
On what exactly? So there's so many things going on that we'll better release on which aspect of it, of the learning, the online modules, of the final website. On what aspect of it exactly. There's so many things going on. Like I did mention before, right? There's so many modules that you're gonna start seeing that get completed, and they all, as they're completed, you're gonna start seeing so many things get completed at once because the schedule is to finish them all at once, right? So we do demo a lot of things. We do talk about a lot of things, and as we come to the to go time, if you will, a lot of parts start moving closer and closer and closer to that final target, and there's more and more visual things and more in-depth conversations on everything. So I guess to answer that, as soon as we feel that something is making us somewhat, how do I describe it, in a comfortable level to share, where we've done our due diligence and saying, okay, this is not going to break, and then go ahead, you guys try and break it, because if you do, that's good. Well, you guys found a bug, we'll fix it. And then we would. And as far as blockchain wise, between alpha and beta, we would share it initially, probably to companies that would pass our vetting procedures. So initially, we would open up a document online. Once we finalized, it's almost done, right? Once we finalize the categories, what documentation that we need people to submit in order to be listed on our launchpad as an upcoming project, and then later on deploy on our blockchain using our launchpad, right? And those would be the ones that would get the code first. If we're talking, blockchain beta, SDK release, if you will. SDK stands for Software Development Kit. And beyond that, at a certain stage, yes, we will release it through documentation on the Rails network website. I hope that answers that question.
Awesome. We do have another one, Gary, and I think this should be an answer just based on the volume of info requests we get. But the question goes like this: are there any projects that the team anticipates will be launching on day one of the blockchain?
Well, okay, so technically, the Steam Exchange token that we have now is going to be a coin, and then technically, on the technicality, that's the first one because you still have to put it as a code, as a smart contract onto the blockchain, right? So technicality wise, yeah, it's us. The whole migration process, that's it, right? So it's not new. We're upgrading the code by changing ourselves technically again from a token to a coin. So it's an upgrade. We're not creating anything new here. We're moving it from one system to another.
Exactly. So day one will pretty much be for the native SteamX blockchain guys, but day two onwards, now that is an interesting piece that we leave for them. Let's not say anything more. But yeah, guys,
I think look, when we get there, obviously, whatever is there, if you follow along, you'll see it everywhere. Like we'll do everything along the lines that we can. Chris has mentioned previously that we'll host AMAs here, and depending on the magnitude of the company and what check marks they get, if you will, we would obviously be inclined to help them push along, if you will, and help showcase them, right, to our own community as well, right? And so you would be notified, and you would be very aware of everything and anything that would be launching on the blockchain. So it's not that one day you see it, one day you don't, and then one day you see something else. It's not it's not going to launch overnight without you knowing about it prior to. So if somebody is going to come to the blockchain, launch something due to the fact that they have to go a rigorous procedure of vetting, it's going to be well known ahead of time that a new token is launching on the blockchain. Everybody's going to have more than enough heads up notice to know that something new is going on and something new and exciting is happening. And again, this is simply due to the fact that nobody can come in and simply throw whatever coin they want at the blockchain and then try and make it stick, It's not going to accept it, and it won't take in any smart contract unless you have this specific, let's call it key, that's issued to you from our development team once you pass the vetting team's credibility check. So if you guys have a question, raise your hand. And ask away. And if you don't, then you feel free to put in the chat. If you're afraid to talk, it's fine. Or if you're shy, it's okay. Or if you think of a question that you'd like to ask, but you think about it after the AMA, feel free to toss it in the chat or DM any one of the admins. We'll take it up and save it for next time. No problem. And just on one over, I want to thank everyone for supporting us in this journey. We truly do appreciate all of the support from the community. We see each and every one of you on all the social media, and we feel the love, guys. Thank you so much. I see Sir Digga. Go ahead.
Okay, so I won't ask anything too strenuous about the game stuff, but basically I just wanted to know how the team is made up when it comes to the game development side of things, because I'm just wondering about if there's going to be any feature creeps, or is there a producer overseeing the design document and what kind of software you have to manage the bugs and so forth on the database?
So that's a really good question, but it's a loaded question. It's a question it's definitely more than the question, but there's definitely Neville and Chris and Viraf working on it. So why don't we go ahead and let them answer on that and elaborate just on the surface, if you will, right? Because we don't want to take up hours on this.
For sure. So the game. So the team right now is basically comprised of, we have the student from Sheridan College who's working on the design elements and the look and feel. And then another partnership that we're trying to close on is going to be consisting of a PhD level computer sciences engineer. So they're going to be working on the the AI and the code elements. The student that we're working with, he's a third-year student at Sheridan College. He hasn't really gone down the road of coding yet, so Gary and I are actually stepping in to work on the code elements for interactions and collision and dialogue and whatnot. It's a little bit of a learning curve for us as well, but coding is coding, so we're picking it up pretty quickly. As far as the production goes, so the student, one of his roles was to oversee, before he started actual development on the world and the levels, was to create a design document, a flow chart of dialogue and learning. So he took on the role, so to speak, of designer and producer from that perspective, and then he submitted those documents to us for review. But it's not like a one and done situation. So we're going to go ahead and definitely take those documents and get an expert in that realm to oversee it with us as a consultant. And then that's how we're going to push forward with it. We're not far enough, I guess, for some of your other questions as far as like the bug or debugging mechanisms and whatnot. But I'm sure when we cross those hurdles, we'll definitely fill you in on that.
So I know we gotta go because the MAs, we don't have a lot of time. We have 2 minutes left, but just quickly, Neville, just tell them, how long did it take for this design aspect? Everything we have until now on this gamification version. How long did that take to create?
It took about a good week, I would say. So this is not the final version where we're currently at. So the final version has interaction and has dialogue. It's just buggy, so we didn't want to demo that version. But it's a work in progress. I can even tell you kind of what our schedule is with the student. On Monday morning.
Maybe we'll save that for the next because it's a rabbit hole, right? But okay, so it took a week. That's exciting, man. That's a lot of work for 1 week. That's really exciting. And of course, we're not going to have polls in the middle of the road there, right? So I saw that it's fixed in the new version, but there's a dialogue section there that AI is responsible for. I get it. Thank you for demoing it, guys. This is exciting stuff. This is truly, I think, a first. We're gonna shut it down here. I want to again thank you on my behalf and Steam Exchange's behalf and everyone's behalf, actually, for joining us today. This has been a loaded AMA, packed with a lot of new exciting things, and I hope you guys are seeing where this is going. Thank you.